Banks collector and the Aboriginal guide, an early Eucalypt specimen from the colony of Sydney, Shelley James and Peter Wilson. Shelley James, or James is talking, right?
I'm Shelley, yeah. All right. Let me just put this down. Hi everyone. What I love about this specimen is how it represents the many, many hands that help curate and take care of specimens, from the collectors to the mounters to the researchers that study them. And do you have a pointer?
No,
okay, that's all right. So this specimen was collected in 1805, and there is a tag that's down in the look down here. That's handwritten by the collector, George Cayley. Now, George Cayley was sent to Australia by Banks, Sir Joseph Banks, as his main collector. And George Cayley was very undereducated. He never really completed school, but he managed to work his way into the heart of Joseph Banks, and he sent him down to Australia to collect in 1798. George Cayley formed really lovely relationships with the local Aboriginals, and so he went collecting with a gentleman named Daniel Muwatu, who was from the Parramatta clan, and he was responsible for actually plucking this specimen from the tree. It's showing flowers and fruits. This is Bear's ironbark, and the Aboriginal name for it is Mogargoro. I can't pronounce it, you can read it. And the only reason why we know it has that Aboriginal name is because George Cayley took Dan, the collector, the native collector, with him out on the field. And Dan was responsible for naming, amongst other things, 30 eucalyptus species in 1805. So this specimen was collected by George Cayley. It was shipped back to Banks for his study, and ended up at the British Museum, now the Natural History Museum, London. So it sailed over the oceans on a ship, and then in the 1900s, Joseph Maiden, who's in the bottom left, he requested duplicate material to be sent back to the now established National Herbarium of New South Wales. He was the second director, and started to build the collections madly at New South Wales, which is where I'm based. So this is from the National Herbarium of New South Wales, this specimen. He was at the time the expert on eucalyptus in Australia, and he published a critical revision of the genus Eucalyptus, which you can find on BHL now. And he worked very closely with the lady that's pictured above him, who's Margaret Flockton, and she was the first illustrator, botanical illustrator for the gardens, and quite prominent and very prolific. We're finding specimens throughout the collection of hers that were just sort of filed away with the specimens. And so there's an illustration of this. She used this specimen for her work, and that she has some annotations listed there. So this specimen has subsequently been barcoded, databased. It was imaged using film and subsequently digital imaging, which is what you see now. So it's gone from being drawn to being photographed to being imaged, and now it's online for everyone to study. It has also a very fascinating systematics pile of work done on it. That's a terrible way of phrasing that, but anyway. So down the bottom, it was originally named Eucalyptus paniculata. Then Laurie Johnson and Ken Hill, who became the eucalyptus experts, crossed that out and said, no, it's Eucalyptus bayerii, which has subsequently been documented as being a hybrid. Went back to Eucalyptus paniculata, and then they decided that all these eucalyptus species that look like this should now be named, given the genus Symphymertus, which never actually got published. So it's now, they became Eucalyptus bayeriana. So there's a picture of what it looks like in real life. This is one of two specimens. It's a duplicate. The other one has different leaf forms. And then this specimen has also gone out on exhibit at the State Library of New South Wales, so many thousands of people have seen this in an exhibit that talked about how Aboriginal collectors were significant in helping document the biodiversity of Australia in the very early days of the Sydney colony. Okay.